Good morning. Let me tell you why it's a good morning. Well, winter's coming, the sun's not up, and I've been up for hours. Oh geez, look at that beautiful lush green background, if you could only see it. Yeah, CO2 is doing its job for this planet. I have clean water. How about my native cousins? I listened to an interview. When you guys listen to these interviews of these elite 1% privileged public servants that wish to be king, do you find these interviews lacking? Like, have you ever noticed that in some interviews, like CBC especially, well, they'll take somebody that's not part of their clique, like say Maxime Bernier. Hey, check out my Max Cup. And they come off with this righteous indignation. They don't do it well, okay? They just sound like you know, they just sound like irate children. And then I listened to watched a interview with Maxime Bernier, City, I think it was, I don't know, it's one of the stations. Might have been City in Toronto, and another interview with a couple of ladies, but one interview with a couple of ladies wasn't bad. But the one thing I noticed, like even with, it was National Post, right? He did an interview with. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't your usual irate attack on the man. But there was a couple of things that, you know, it's like, these guys, you need to follow around our free press. You know, like that man Andrew Lawton that Trudeau called the cops on, kicked him out of a public venue before he could even get in. The man did absolutely nothing, has a complete right to attend a public venue, has a complete right to tweet to the people through his newscast about the meeting, and Trudeau can just call the cops willy-nilly and have a man, our free press, our backwatcher, just thrown out of a public venue? Guys, are you not worried about this? Are you next? I mean, if this is the tip of the iceberg, you know, like this man-child Trudeau doesn't even have to pretend much that he even gives a care about anybody but himself. Now this is the tip of the iceberg. Could you imagine if he gets back in, how he's going to destroy this nation? How many of you are going to be in court, prison, and jail, well, let's say in court or at court, for unjust laws? Okay? For unjust laws. How many of you are going to be in prison and jail because you don't know how to stand as a man? You don't know how to figure out jurisdiction within the courts. You don't know how to figure out what venue you're at when you get called to court. I don't wish that upon anybody. I mean, these guys all have guns, okay? You know, I saw a thing from CBC, you know, guns, owning firearms is a privilege, not a right. No, actually owning property is a right to the people. And for any ministry, like the sheriff's department, the police, that is the privileged firearm people, okay? They're the ones who are privileged to carry a firearm. They have no right to carry a firearm. We have absolutely all the right in the world as a nation, as a people, to force our government to disarm the police and make them like the bobbies in England. Because it's our land. This is our nation. The government's way out of hand. So this poor man, Andrew Lawton, you know, first they call the cops on him for following the liberal media bus around because they won't let him on. I have never seen. I've watched his stuff, and I think they call themselves True North. They're okay. They're not bad. I mean, they report news. I mean, a little dry, but come on, this Andrew Lawton dude is, or man, sorry Andrew. He's a harmless man. He's a reporter. He's actually one of the very few free press we actually really have within this nation. Which is why Trudeau sends his thugs over to throw this man out. Now there should have had to have been a reason. The cops should have said, no, you can't just throw people out. It's a public venue and the man has a right to be here just like everybody else. Now in this, that National Post, and I believe that's what it was, I was watching when I got home from work. Just one of the questions, like, one of the things I was thinking of, if say Max did actually get in as PM, okay? Say, so what, our number 2 public servant, Elizabeth being the first one, the Queen. If he actually did get in as PM, do you know what the mainstream establishment 1% elite privilege are worried about? Is that he will up the standards that this nation will expect from their public servants. This is a man that answers questions straight up. This is a man that doesn't declare to know everything. This is a man that is not out to control each individual through some kind of enactment. This is a man that sees his country falling apart as well. My buddies of mine that even my progressive buddy, and this guy's off the wall. He's like a Berkeley nutcase, even though he went to the Alaska University of Alaska. But he's even saying, "What's going on with Trudeau?" And this guy's a progressive. We already got enough gun laws. But we don't punish crime. We punish everybody for nothing. But we don't punish real criminals in a proper fashion. And we don't take care of our mentally, and I'm not talking about mentally handicapped, but more of the mentally unstable folks that are just let out on the street and get maybe, I guess they get about $400 a month if they're living on the street, and $900 a month if they actually could find an apartment. So if Max actually did get in, that would actually up the playing field, and there would have to be smarter and better wannabe public servants in the future. Because once you get a taste of something good, you get a taste of filet mignon, you don't want to go back to craft dinner. And what we have here for these public servants is like a no-name craft dinner. How did we get this bad, man? How did we get this bad? So my conservative buddy, he's hey man, I'm voting for Max. That's all there is to it. Cheers. So he's going on about Scheer. I said fine, but you know what else he's doing? He's also applied to move to a different country because he doesn't trust the media. He doesn't trust the crooked establishment, and he's about to flee and become a member of a different nation because of what's going on this land. So yay. So we get all the good people that should stand up, all the people that are supposed to have, intestinal fortitude. Instead of standing up for our nation, they're going to flee. What are you going to let Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is take over the country? You're going to flee? I mean, what is Trudeau? He's a male version of Greta Thunberg. He wants everybody to be as angry as he is. Because he hates the people. I am convinced that Trudeau hates this nation and hates the people of this nation. And well, you can tell by the way he has his Goon squad muscle grandmothers within the his own Quebecois writings. Well, I don't know if it was in his writing, but I mean, in Quebec, like I could see it if he was muscling grandmothers in Alberta because he hates Albertans. He doesn't care about Manitoba. To hell with the Maritimes. Let him suck on expensive Arab oil. What does he care? He doesn't have to pay for anything. So, okay. So I think if Max got in, it would up the quality of those of this nation that wish to run in the future, because then we would set the standard higher and expect higher standards, and we wouldn't be so low on our standards of these elitists that wish to play king and play partisan politics and just collect 10, 15 grand a month wages and a few $100 grand expenses so they can drink alcohol on our dime while you're losing your property on the side of the highway, and or no, you're losing property at your home because your bitchy old communist neighbor decided to phone the cops on you, said you were swerving, and you're telling them to get the fuck out of your house. That's a bad law, guys. If nobody's worried, I don't care what political stripe you have. That is a bad law that breaks the supreme law, okay, of how, the supreme law of Canada, which, all our public servants fall under. This is their guideline, okay? So that breaks the supreme law of Canada about being presumed innocent until proven guilty, being able to access a court of competent jurisdiction. You can't access the court. It's fucking crazy. And now they're crossing into your domestic jurisdiction on what they call a legal technicality. So legal technicality, oh well, somebody saw you swerving on the road, so that's a public law, so now we're going to enforce it within your own domestic jurisdiction. We don't care. We don't give a shit. Do what you're told. Or we're going to take what? They're going to take your property and haul your ass off to prison, make you take psych evals and everything else, and make you pay for it, and just punish and punish and punish and punish. I've talked to people in their mid-30s that never heard the expression public servant. My God. My God. Learn the definition of income. It's a benefit from the government. Every public servant earns income, or is allotted income by the people you serve. Fucking serve, man. You don't serve anybody, you're all self-serving. I will give it to that Singh guy running for the NDP. He had no problem with Andrew Law, and he said all the press is welcome. Of course all the press is welcome. It's our right. That man's right, our right to have the free press at a public venue covering Trudeau's bullshit can never... Look, they're using the cops, they're outlawing you from that. You're losing all your freedoms with these people. You're being sold out. I don't know, you know, I heard on one poll that Liberals were like 33% or something still. Why? Is that how many, is that the percentage of eligible voters that that are on the public dole, that are all seeking to be psychopathic control freaks of the nation and to cause harm to their fellow man through legal technicalities? I don't know. But Max was talking about, there was something else too. Oh yeah, he was talking, they were talking about, he was talking about the Indian Act, which I totally agree with him, and most of the Indians I know totally agree with that too. It's a bad act. So he's talking about the Indian Act, and so he said he's going to, you know, he wants to powwow with the leaders of the tribes, but nobody, because you know why? These so-called reporters and journalists and stuff, they don't know how to investigate. They don't hang out with Indians, so they don't know how to ask the critical questions. And so I'm sitting there watching this going, okay, well, when are you going to ask them? Because there's a political divide caused by the elites in Ottawa within our Native cousins communities, and it's corporate chiefs and inherit chiefs. All right, these people have their own culture on who's going to be chief, and then the elites. You know, I can hear my neighbor buddies. Yeah, Whitey comes in and does this, and Whitey comes in and does that. Well, they may have been white at the time, my friend, but they don't represent me. I'm sure there's a lot of bad native dudes out there, just like there is white dudes and black dudes and yellow dudes and green dudes. Anytime you have a conglomerate of folks, there's always some bad apples in there. And never should everyone be punished for the few. Never. So anyways, okay, instead of getting off, so my question to Max is this, buddy. Okay, you wish to powwow with the chiefs. Which chiefs are you going to powwow with? Are you going to powwow with the corporate chiefs, what a lot of them call the sellout chiefs? Or are you going to powwow with their inherit chiefs? And are you going to respect their matriarchs? The matriarchs, the mother is a woman, and they are in charge of the land. So if anybody does wish to do something on Indian land, and I understand that's an oxymoron, because at one time it was all Indian land from different nations of Indians throughout our nation now. But are they going to deal with the matriarchs on and show respect to this people's culture, to their common law? Or are you going to invite both? Now, me personally, that's what I would do. If I was going to sit down and have a powwow with our native cousins, I would be inviting the corporate chief and the inherit chief of every tribe, or whoever represents for the peoples that you wish to talk to. And the reason I would do this is because the elites have gone in, they created this corporate chief, and in the past, and divided. There again, here's the establishment dividing a people. So you got traditional natives that operate within the common law of their culture, of their land, and then you've got the newer guys that were usually bribed through money and legally tricked through bad paperwork to become corporate treaty Indians and stuff like that. The exact same thing is happening to you. If you ever want to know how the elite establishment, 1%, defunct public service is going to deal with you. Just look at our native cousins. They already did it there. They don't want you to know the history of this nation because they wish to pull it all over again. And we're so dumbed down. I don't know if it's the chemicals they're putting in city water, or people just don't care anymore. Don't care about a nation. You don't have a heart for your neighbor. Don't care that well, my neighborhood's good. I don't give a shit. I got my Kia, and I'm going to go get my Tim Hortons. And for any foreigners that are watching this, any of my cousins around the world that might be watching this, Tim Hortons is... It used to be a Canadian thing with really good coffee, and now it's owned by this corporation, Burger King, and I don't even go there anymore. So... Now, there's something else that's a misconception that, I would ask Max to be aware of and maybe criticize if he believes this next statement of mine to be true. All right, so this woman says to him, she's talking about, how Max wishes to be the leader of this nation. No. Max wishes to be... Well, he is the leader of the People's Party of Canada, okay? But if that man, any man, gets into that office and they are granted the title, okay, that personhood of Prime Minister, you are now a chief public servant. You are not our leader. You are our servant. You are supposed to reflect the people of this nation and to guard us from world tyranny and guard us from attacks. You're supposed to keep the people's back. So, Max, it would really be cool if you could straighten people out when they say, "Oh, leader of Canada." Well, no, I'm leader of the People's Party. I'm not going to be the leader of Canada. I'm going to be the prime servant of Canada. This is a common law land. The people are the government. Privileged to own firearms. CBC. You people got to burn. Not you people, but that corporate body there has to burn, man. So the inherent chiefs, that man from True North, Andrew Lawton of the Free Press, which is freaking... I mean, what's Trudeau scared of? You're scared of the free press coming in. You're terrified of the free press coming in, that you won't let the free press coming in. So here you are. Now, here you are besmirching the good name of folks, young aspiring journalists and stuff, calling them Nazis publicly, calling them fascists publicly. And so here's this Antifa dude, and I do mean dude. Here's this Antifa dude in Winnipeg is saying, now there's a few people running for MP or whatever saying, no, hey, Antifa, is a terrorist organization. We've all seen it. We've all seen their actions. What they do to people. Trying to stab people who are doing absolutely nothing but watching a rally. Destroying property. Ripping up universities because they don't approve of somebody else's as a speaker's opinion. Pulling fire alarms at universities to interrupt talks and yeah, no, Antifa is a terrorist group. They terrorize people. They terrorize people. They are a terrorist group. So this guy, well, hey, Trudeau's running around calling everybody a racist when he's the closet racist. Hey, I'm glad you came out of the closet, man-child. Okay. So, in conclusion to this one, I mean, this is what these public servants that are privileged to serve us and receive all kinds of benefits for it, think of us. They think we're that stupid and greedy and shallow that they can buy us off with our own monies. Okay? That is extorted from us and also stolen from our resources of this land. It's not the Crown's resource, it's not the Queen's resource, it's not Trudeau's resources. Actually, it's the resources of the people. The people are from this land. We are of this land. From this land we come, and back to this land we go. We are the land. And that's the thing. So, yeah, so, you know, they lie, they steal, they cheat, they manipulate, they use the pseudo Gestapo to remove you from public venues for absolutely nothing. You know, they attack each and every individual of this land as they wish, whoever they feel is in their way. And so this is what they think of you. Okay, so you get dog crap on your boot, you scrape it off. And this is how these elites, public servants, think of you. So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm voting Max. Give Max a chance. Hey, if nothing else, and especially all you guys that don't vote, but if nothing else, guys, just vote for Max so that we don't get the same old tyranny crap. I mean, this is a snowball effect, man. Tyranny's rolling downhill. I mean, 20 and 30 years ago, if they ever tried to come up with these privilege laws, they'd be shut down. You know, not only are they unconstitutional, which they are, but they're manipulating this. They're using legal trickery to manipulate people. Well, because we're not dealing with mankind, because we're not dealing with, you know, basically people, we're only dealing with persons that fall under this category, and we created this enactment that describes this person and how this person can act. So therefore, if the courts don't recognize this man or woman as not being that person, and only presume that this man or woman is that person, now we can put indenture involuntary servitude and slavery upon this man or woman through this imaginary person that we created and have jurisdiction and authority over. Now chew on that for a while, but that's exactly what's going on. Alright, that's about it for me today. I'm really sick of this garbage. These guys got to be. We got to do something, man. Are they going to push us into civil war? Is that what really Trudeau? Is that a UN agenda, Trudeau? The guys that are pulling your strings, is that what they wish? Or do they wish? Well, you know, we don't really want to, you know, actually go to war on mankind or the people or the nation. We prefer just to, you know, browbeat you and intimidate you and get you, you know, force you and extort you to come to our way of thinking and act the way we wish, you know, you to act as good chattel. Or are you trying to force the free world into civil war? If Trudeau gets in, I'm not running away from this land. I'm heading back to Alberta. I'm going to go do my best and partake in Wessex, whatever it is. But I'm going to go and partake. I believe I could help contribute to a proper constitution formed by the people. We definitely cannot let the government have control of our guns. Especially the feds, they have no mandate. That's a provincial jurisdiction. Same as